Speak, say something.
Testing 1, 2.
This reminds me of another incident that this is a test. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Supervisor told me that I could, my supervisor offered me the 2 weeks, but I said no. I will just stay 1 week and return to work. And during my stay that week with Barbara, I was enjoying Barbara so much that the time went so quickly. At the end of the week, when I and a few others were supposed to leave, I had just about decided I wouldn't go back, and I would send a telegram to my job stating that I couldn't return to work at the time. And the day before, I was scheduled to come back to New York. After we came from the Lagoon Cabin where Barbara was had met with the group of us, I was one of the first ones to leave. And as I came out, Barbara called me over and he said, when are you going home? And he took me so by surprise, I didn't know what to say. I started stuttering. And I said, well, today, Barbara. So Barbara, with his hands, he motioned me, hurry, meaning I must go back then, because I had given a promise at my job, and Barbara saw to it that I fulfilled that promise. Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. This is Len Willoughby again. Well, before I go to into the Sahabas of 1958 and the experiences and the men's show there, I'll come back and pick up my first meeting with Baba. As I was saying, after this overwhelming experience meeting Baba, I found, well, I know that if I were an Easterner and had experiences with a God-realized master, this experience alone would have been sufficient to let me know that Baba was indeed my master, and that all these questions I had asked were resolved and they weren't really necessary, and Baba, that's exactly what he did do. He resolved them. But my mind needed appeasing, you see. And being of an intellectual turn of mind, I started to search out through the discourses, and I started to read. I told Burl, well, before I can accept Baba as my master, I have to know what Baba is saying. So I said to Burl, I'll read all 5 of Baba's discourses, the 5-volume, the old, 5-volume set, and see what I thought about Baba's teachings, and if I could accept them and live by them. So I borrowed the first discourse from Burl, and I started reading in the discourse about the various things that Baba was saying, and I would meditate on the different discourses of Baba and see how it felt within myself. I had just about gotten through the middle of the first discourse, and one day I was sitting on the job at my drawing board. It was lunchtime. I was having lunch and also reading the discourses and meditating on it. And as I was sitting there, it was as if a voice came up from inside of myself, from deep within myself, and it was as though I was asking myself the question, can I accept Baba as my spiritual master? This voice came and took me so by surprise, I grabbed myself to try to say, well, look, I hadn't decided to make this decision until after I after I had read all of Baba's 5 discourses. But before I could get all of these thoughts formulated in my mind, another voice came from inside, deep inside myself, that said, yes, I could accept Baba, or yes, I do accept Baba as my spiritual master. And with that, I again felt the presence of Baba so strongly, I just sat there in my chair at the drawing board and just shook. And I was shaking for minutes. I had to stop and look around to see if anyone was watching me, to see if I was, they might think I was ill or something.
I was reminded of a story that happened in 1962 when we were with Baba at the East-West Gathering. Baba has given many discourses on obedience and how when one really obeys or is capable of obeying the master, one acts without any hesitation. As an order is given, the individual acts immediately without any thought. Well, we were sitting with Baba at Guru Prasad, and the women Mandali were there, and Meher was sitting at Baba's right on a little stool, and Baba wanted us to leave. So Baba raised his hand to signal, and before Baba finished snapping his fingers, Meher was on her feet. It was the most beautiful and graceful thing you ever wanted to see. Baba had really not finished snapping his finger, and Meher was on her feet. And I just sat there, oh, to be able to obey like that. Funny.
I'm just about fresh out of stories. I'll just mention an incident that happened at the Sahabas program in 1958. Significance of the incident, I guess there is some significance. What I don't know, I couldn't say. This happened, I think it was the last day that Baba was at the center. And Baba said it was a holiday for everyone. So this day, we took Baba around. Baba was carried in a sedan chair at that time, around to the different buildings in the center. And Baba looked at the various buildings and made comment. And we just, went around and had a good time. And then Baba got into the car, and he said, everybody's going to the beach. So we started walking down the road to go to the beach. And I was walking along, following behind some of the others. And Baba's car I heard approaching from the back, slowly. So I looked back and I saw Baba's car coming, and I looked and I saw Baba. But I didn't want to be obtrusive or anything, so I didn't wave or anything like that. I just watched him go by. Well, as Baba's car passed me, it went a little ways beyond me, I noticed Baba had the car stopped. And then Irish opened the door and beckoned for me to come to the car. So I went to Baba's car, and Baba motioned, and Irish said for me to get in. So I got in the car, I sat next to Irish in the back seat, right behind Baba. Oh no, Baba was in the center. I think the publisher, the English publisher, what's his name? Charles Purdom was sitting next to Baba in the front seat. And then the car started up again. I think Elizabeth Patterson was driving. And we went all the way down to the beach. When we got to the beach, there was a chain across the road. And it may have been padlocked or something. They may have had to send somebody back to get a key to open the lock. So I sat there for a while, and then Irish motioned for me to get out then. So then I got out the car, and I don't recall whether Baba and the others got out of the car then, But anyway, when Baba got out of the car and the others, we all went following Baba, leading into the ocean. We all took a walk in the ocean. That Baba has a meaning for everything he does, there's no doubt. But to say any significance that this may have, I don't know. I just mentioned this as in passing, something I thought about that happened. Now, stories of any other stories, I can't think of any stories off